All right, so picture this. You're at the park, just a normal day, right? And off in the distance, you see a group of bees.
Bees?
Yeah, bees. But they're all huddled around this tiny ball and they're pushing it around like
Like what?
it's like they're playing a game, like some kind of bee World Cup.
Okay, now that's an image.
Right. But it's not as crazy as it sounds because some scientists think these bees might actually be playing for fun.
Playing for fun. Bees. That's,
It is. It's a pretty mind-blowing idea, and it leads to some big questions about animal consciousness, maybe even free will.
okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, that's what today's Depth Dive is all about. We're tackling the ideas of Roger Penrose.
Ah, Penrose. Now we're talking. This isn't just any physicist.
Exactly. He's known for his, I guess you could call them profound and unconventional ideas. He's not afraid to challenge the status quo.
He really makes you rethink everything. The universe,
Yeah.
our minds, even the limits of artificial intelligence.
And that's what we're going to do today. Dive deep into Penrose's latest thinking. And fair warning, it gets pretty controversial.
Well, I'm ready. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's start with a question that's been bugging humans probably since we first started thinking. Do we actually have free will, or are we all just puppets on strings?
Ah, yes, the age-old debate. Penrose actually has some really interesting thoughts on this. He argues that true free will, it's not just about randomness.
So it's more than just flipping a coin in our heads.
Exactly. He uses a great example from his own life to illustrate this. It all goes back to a childhood game.
Okay, I'm hooked. What game holds the key to unlocking the mysteries of free will?
Scissors, paper, stone. Classic, right?
Yeah, everyone's played that.
So Penrose was playing this with his younger brother, and he kept losing. His brother was just too good.
So his brother was like a scissors, paper, stone master. What was his secret?
Patterns. Penrose realized his brother was able to pick up on these subtle patterns in his moves, even when he thought he was being random.
So even when we think we're making free choices, there might be these hidden patterns influencing us.
It makes you wonder how much control we really have, right? Penrose even tried using a book of logarithms to come up with what he thought were truly random moves. But even then, he says there might have been some underlying structure he wasn't aware of.
That's a really good point. If even something as simple as scissors, paper, stone can have these hidden patterns, then how much of our everyday choices are actually influenced by things we're not even conscious of?
Big question. And for Penrose, it's not just about making unpredictable choices. It's about this deeper level of conscious decision-making.
Can you elaborate on that a little? What does he mean by conscious decision-making?
It's about being able to step outside of those pre-programmed patterns and make a choice based on genuine understanding and insight.
So it's more than just reacting to stimuli. It's about actively engaging with the world around us and making thoughtful choices.
Think of it this way. A computer program can easily generate truly random moves in scissors, paper, stone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it wouldn't be making a conscious choice.
Right.
It's just following an algorithm.
It's just crunching numbers.
Exactly. True free will for Penrose. It involved reflection analysis, considering different possibilities before making a deliberate choice.
So there's this element of awareness that goes beyond just computation.
Right, and this brings us back to those football-playing bees.
Yeah, the bees.
If they're really engaging in play just for the enjoyment of it, it really challenges our assumptions about animal consciousness.
Because we tend to think of play as something that's uniquely human,
Right,
or at least limited to higher mammals.
exactly. So if bees are capable of this kind of behavior, what does it say about the nature of consciousness?
Yeah, where do we draw the line?
And that's what I find so fascinating about Penrose's thinking. He doesn't claim to have all the answers,
Oh, definitely not.
but he encourages us to be open to the possibility that consciousness might exist in ways we haven't even considered.
To expand our definition of intelligence and awareness beyond just a human-centric view.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this exploration of animal consciousness actually leads us to another fascinating aspect of Penrose's work, his own evolution as a mathematician.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does math tie into all of this?
Well, Penrose's journey in mathematics was profoundly shaped by a lecture from another pretty famous figure, Albert Einstein.
Einstein. Black holes, how does that connect to bees and free will?
It's all connected, trust me. So Penrose, he initially favored discrete mathematical systems. Think integers, combinatorics, that kind of neat and tidy math.
Okay, I kind of get it.
But during this Einstein lecture, which was about the Schwarzschild horizon, a concept related to black holes, He encountered the power of continuous mathematics.
So he went from the world of nice whole numbers to a world of infinite decimals and curves and...
Exactly, and it blew his mind.
Yeah.
He realized that this type of math, which he had previously dismissed as kind of messy, was actually incredibly elegant and powerful.
It's like discovering a whole new language.
And I think this experience holds a really important lesson for all of us. Even brilliant minds like Penrose are constantly learning and evolving.
So it's okay to change your mind, to embrace new ideas even if they challenge your previous beliefs?
Absolutely. Being open to new perspectives is crucial for growth. And, this mathematical shift actually laid the groundwork for Penrose's skepticism about artificial intelligence.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. So he doesn't think AI can truly replicate human intelligence.
He's particularly skeptical about its ability to fully grasp mathematical insight.
Because math is often seen as the pinnacle of human logic and reasoning, right?
Exactly. Penrose believes that AI can excel within formal systems, but it might lack that intuitive leap, that creative spark that we see in human mathematical thinking.
It's like AI can follow the rules, but it can't break them in a meaningful way.
And this connects to the work of another brilliant mind, Gödel.
Okay, we've got Einstein B's now Gödel. My brain is doing backflips trying to keep up.
I know, right? It's a lot, but it's all connected, I promise. So Gödel's incompleteness theorems, they're pretty complex, but basically they demonstrate that even within the most rigorous logical system, there will always be true statements that can't be proven within that system.
So even with perfect logic, there are still limits to what we can know.
Precisely. And this is where Penrose gets really controversial. He believes that Gödel's theorems point to something fundamental about human understanding.
Like, there's this level of knowing that goes beyond what can be captured by algorithms and formal systems.
That's the core of his argument.
Mhm.
He's not saying that AI can't be powerful or useful,
Oh, for sure, AI is changing the world as we speak.
but he's suggesting that there's a certain essence of human understanding, especially in fields like mathematics, that might be unique to us.
So maybe all those sci-fi movies about sentient robots taking over the world, maybe they're not as realistic as we thought.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Penrose's ideas definitely make us rethink what's possible with artificial intelligence.
It's a humbling thought, and it makes me wonder about the whole idea of uploading our consciousness to a computer, which I think is where we're headed next.
You read my mind. And let me tell you, Penrose does not hold back when it comes to this topic.
Okay, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
What does he have to say about digital immortality? Well, he firmly believes that uploading our minds to a computer is simply not possible, at least not with our current understanding of consciousness and computation.
So he's basically saying our brains aren't just super complex computers that we can one day copy-paste into a digital world.
Exactly. He makes a really interesting distinction between the computers we know, which are based on algorithms and formal systems, and the potential complexities of human consciousness.
But our brains run on electrical signals, right? Isn't that kind of like a biological computer?
Well, that's where Penrose takes things to a whole other level. He suggests that consciousness might involve processes that go beyond classical computation, perhaps even tapping into the realm of quantum mechanics.
Hold on, quantum mechanics, like the stuff they're using to build those super fast quantum computers, what does that have to do with our brains?
So imagine you're flipping a coin. Before it lands, it has the potential to be both heads and tails at the same time.
Okay, got it.
That's kind of what a quantum state is like. It's a mix of possibilities.
But how does a coin flip relate to consciousness?
In quantum mechanics, this mix of possibilities is described by something called the wave function. And when the coin lands, we get a definite outcome, heads or tails. It's like the wave function collapses.
I think I'm following.
And Penrose believes that something similar might be happening in our brains, giving rise to the experience of consciousness.
So you're saying our brains might be doing quantum computations?
It's definitely a mind-bending idea. He theorizes that tiny structures within our neurons called microtubules might be able to harness quantum effects, allowing for processes that traditional computers can't replicate.
Wow. So if Penrose is right, does that mean we'll never be able to create a truly conscious AI?
It's certainly a possibility, and it's one that has sparked a lot of debate.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Penrose argues that true understanding, the kind that allows for subjective experience and insightful leaps in thinking, it can't be achieved simply by building more powerful computers.
So all those sci-fi movies about sentient robots taking over the world?
Maybe not so realistic after all.
Maybe not. But even if we never create conscious machines, AI is still transforming our world at an incredible pace.
Absolutely. It's revolutionizing countless industries, from healthcare to finance to transportation.
It's already having a huge impact. And who knows, maybe our efforts to create truly intelligent machines will actually help us unlock the secrets of our own minds.
That would be pretty amazing. To think that the quest to create artificial consciousness could lead to a deeper understanding of human consciousness.
It just goes to show how interconnected these fields of study really are. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
And how much more there is to explore. All right, let's take a step back and recap what we've covered so far,
Sounds good. We started with that fascinating image of bees seemingly playing football.
which led us to a pretty deep conversation about the nature of consciousness and the possibility that it might exist beyond humans.
Right. Then we explored Penrose's own intellectual journey. His shift from discrete to continuous mathematics, which was sparked by an encounter with a black hole concept.
The Schwarzschild horizon. It's a mouthful.
And that led us to his skepticism about AI's ability to truly replicate human mathematical insight based on Gödel's work.
And finally, we touched on his controversial stance on uploading consciousness, which stems from his belief that consciousness might involve quantum processes that current computers just can't handle.
Whew. That's a lot to take in. But it's all incredibly thought-provoking.
It really is.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that we're still so early in our journey of understanding the universe.
Absolutely. Every new discovery seems to open up even more questions.
Which is what makes it so exciting.
Exactly. And speaking of exciting discoveries, we haven't even touched on Penrose's ideas about the universe itself.
Wait, are we going from bees to black holes to the Big Bang? My head is spinning.
You heard that right? Get ready to have your mind blown, because we're about to explore Penrose's radical theories about how the universe began and what might come next. So we left off with Penrose basically saying, no way, you can't just upload your mind.
Like our brains are more than just hard drives, we can back up to the cloud.
Right? It's not that simple.
Yeah.
He's got this really interesting way of looking at it. He says the computers we have now, they're all about algorithms and these formal systems.
Okay, but what about our brains? I mean, they run on electrical signals. Isn't that kind of like a biological computer?
Well, that's where things get really wild.
Yeah.
Penrose thinks consciousness might involve stuff that goes way beyond the kind of computing we're used to.
Like what kind of... You're going to say quantum mechanics, aren't you?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I think at the quantum realm. Yeah, same stuff behind those super fast quantum computers they're building.
Okay, my brain is trying to catch up. How do quantum computers relate to our brains?
So think about flipping a coin. Right before it lands, it could be heads or tails.
It's both at the same time, kind of.
Yeah, that's like a quantum state, this mix of possibilities.
Okay, but how does a coin flip explain consciousness?
In quantum mechanics, they describe this mix of possibilities with something called the wave function. When the coin lands, you get heads or tails, right? That's like the wave function collapsing.
Okay, I'm with you.
Penrose thinks something similar might be happening in our brains, which could be how we experience consciousness.
So our brains are like quantum computers. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It's a wild idea, right?
Mm.
He thinks these tiny structures inside our neurons, called microtubules, they might be able to use quantum effects.
And that lets them do stuff normal computers can't.
Exactly. So if Penrose is right, we might never be able to build a truly conscious AI.
Because we can't build computers that work like our quantum brains.
It's a huge debate in the field. Some people think he's onto something, others think it's a stretch.
I can see both sides. It's definitely making me think.
That's what Penrose does best. He makes you question everything.
So what about those sci-fi movies with sentient robots taking over? Are those out the window?
Well, maybe not entirely. But Penrose's ideas make you wonder if those scenarios are as realistic as we think.
It's a humbling thought. But even if we can't make conscious robots, AI is still changing everything.
Oh, absolutely. It's already revolutionizing so many industries, it's hard to keep up.
And who knows? Maybe by trying to build truly intelligent machines, we'll learn even more about how our own minds work.
That would be amazing. The quest for artificial consciousness, leading us to understand human consciousness better.
It just goes to show you how connected everything is. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize how much we don't know.
And how much more there is to discover. Okay, let's take a minute to recap everything.
All right, where do we start? Oh yeah, those football-playing bees.
Which got us talking about what consciousness really is and if it exists beyond humans.
Then we went through Penrose's own journey as a mathematician. Remember that black hole concept that blew his mind?
The Schwarzschild horizon.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to say that 5 times fast.
We talked about his doubts about AI ever truly matching human understanding, especially in math.
Yeah.
You know, based on Gödel's work.
And of course, we dug into his ideas about uploading consciousness, which he's not a fan of because he thinks consciousness involves those quantum processes that regular computers just can't handle.
It's a lot to absorb. But it's also fascinating.
I know, right? It's like every answer just leads to more questions.
That's the beauty of it all. This whole search for understanding keeps going.
Exactly. Speaking of which, we haven't even gotten to the really big stuff yet.
Wait, there's more. What could be bigger than all this?
You ready for this? Penrose doesn't just talk about the brain. He's got some wild theories about the universe itself.
Wait, you're telling me we're going from bees to black holes to the Big Bang? I'm not sure my brain can handle it.
Buckle up. We're about to explore Penrose's radical ideas about how the universe began and maybe even what comes after. Get ready for some serious mind-blowing stuff. All right, so remember how we were talking about Penrose and his crazy ideas? Well, it gets even crazier.
Yeah, we went from bees playing football to our brains being quantum computers. We're on the crazy.
Okay, you asked for it. We're going cosmic now. Penrose has these wild theories about how the universe started
Oh.
and what might happen next. It's pretty out there.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
So you know how the Big Bang is like the accepted story of how everything began?
Yeah, pretty much everyone agrees on that, right?
Well, Penrose, he's not so sure. He thinks the Big Bang might not be the whole story.
Wait, really? What else could it be?
He calls his idea conformal cyclic cosmology, or CCC for short.
CCC.
Okay, that sounds interesting. But what does it actually mean?
Basically, instead of one single beginning, he thinks the universe goes through these endless cycles of expanding and contracting.
Like a cosmic heartbeat.
Exactly, like a heartbeat. The universe expands, reaches a limit, and then contracts again.
So everything we know, stars, galaxies, planets, it all gets crunched back together.
Yeah, it's kind of a mind-blowing picture.
It's a little scary, but also kind of cool, like a cosmic reset button.
That's exactly what Penrose thinks. It's not the end, it's just a transition to a new cycle, a new eon.
So the Big Bang wasn't the beginning at all. It was just the start of the current cycle.
That's what he's proposing. And the crazy part is he thinks there might be evidence of these past cycles imprinted on something called the cosmic microwave background radiation.
Wait, the afterglow of the Big Bang? Yeah, that's the one. He's looking for patterns in that radiation that could be like echoes of previous universes.
Like cosmic fossils.
Exactly. It's pretty controversial, but he claims to have found some patterns that support his theory.
Wow, this is a lot to take in. So Penrose is basically saying that time might not be linear, the universe is cyclical, and we might even be able to see glimpses of these past cycles.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? It completely changes how we think about our place in the universe.
It's humbling. It makes you realize how much we still don't know.
That's the beauty of it all. And even if Penrose is wrong, his ideas force us to confront these really big questions about existence, about the nature of time and the universe.
He's definitely not afraid to think outside the box.
That's for sure. So where do we go from here? I mean, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
I know, right? We started with bees playing football.
And somehow ended up talking about the universe being a giant heartbeat.
It's been a wild ride. It makes you wonder what other mysteries are out there just waiting to be uncovered.
And what other crazy ideas are out there just waiting to challenge our understanding of the world.
Well, that's a great place to wrap things up. I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is that we should never stop exploring, never stop asking questions.
Exactly. Curiosity is what drives us to learn and grow. It's what makes us human. And who knows, maybe someday we'll have the answers to all these mind-blowing questions.
Or maybe we'll just end up with even more questions. But either way, it's the journey that counts.
Yep.
So keep diving deep, keep exploring, and never lose that sense of wonder.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, folks.